Hello and welcome to this shoulder heart opening sequence. Begin in Hero's Pose with your hands together at your heart center, Anjali Mudra. Begin to guide your arms up towards the ceiling and then opening your arms, lifting your heart. And bring your hands back together at your heart center, Anjali Mudra. And then on your next breath, fold forward at your hip crease, extend your fingers back behind you, coming into Balasana. And in your child's pose, just feel a sense of surrender. Let your shoulders soften and then interlace your fingers, reach your wrists back and then start to draw your arms up away from your low back. Still reaching your wrists up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, draw your arms back down. Once you do, bring your hands beside you and guide yourself up onto your knees, tucking your toes. Coming into eagle arms on the right side, draw your right arm underneath your left, back of hands or your palms to touch, bringing the elbows up, letting the shoulders come down, and starting to sit down onto your heels. Slowly begin to lift your arms back up, coming back up onto your knees, hands once more together at your heart center, Anjali Mudra. Bring your hands now down onto the mat, coming into a neutral spine and then moving through your cat-cow. Bringing your sit bones up towards the ceiling, drawing your heart forward and through your arms. Gaze can be forward or up, whichever feels best in your body. Drawing your chin back in towards your chest. Bring your navel up towards your spine. And then releasing, moving through, noticing where you may feel tight, where there's stickiness along the spine. And then when you come to your next neutral tabletop position, just begin to press your palms down, guide now yourself up into your downward facing dog. You can always allow your knees to hover just before you do so. And in your downward facing dog, bring the heels towards the mat and then coming back down onto your knees. Once you do, coming into your eagle arms on the other side, lifting up, now drawing your left arm underneath your right. Back of hands or your palms, starting to guide your hips towards your heels, keeping the toes tucked, start to draw your wrists away, ever so gently away from the face. And then releasing, drawing again your arms back up. Bring your hands once more together at your heart center. Bring your hands down beside you and then walk your knees slightly back and guide your heart, your belly towards the floor to move into your Bhujangasana. Lifting the heart up. Find that nice length in the spine as you bring now yourself back down towards the mat. Tuck your toes, bring your hips towards your heels, and then bring yourself back into your downward facing dog. And breathe into the sensation now. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Draw your hand to just cradle the back of your head and allow your heart to lift up towards the ceiling. And if it feels nice in your body, you can be taking your hand towards your foot and bringing your heel towards your buttock. Now on your next breath, release. Bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot and step your left foot to the outside of your left hand and drop down into Malasana, tucking the tailbone slightly under. Bring your thumbs towards your sternum, still lift up through the crown of your head. Breathing here. Now bring your hands now back behind you. Draw your legs up, Navasana. Extend your arms out in front of you, fingers pointing forward. Take your right ankle over top of your left and draw yourself back to your downward facing dog. Same thing, other side. Step now your left foot to the outside of your left hand. And now allow your left arm to draw up and cradle the back of your head. Let your head feel heavy and then maybe take your hand to the top of your foot. Again, bringing your heel towards your buttock. On your exhale, release, bring your hand down into the center, and now step your right foot to the outside of your right hand, coming back down into Malasana squat. Garland pose, breathing here. On your next breath, bring your hands down, come down onto your knees and all the way back up. This time though, with your hands at your heart center, begin to draw your pelvis slightly forward, lift your heart, coming into camel. Now as you come into camel pose, keep the heart lifted. You can always release your hands, see if you can reach your hands to your ankles, but without losing the integrity of the asana. On your next inhale, guide yourself back up. Hands at your heart, Anjali Mudra. Breathing here in Virasana, Hero's Pose. On your next breath, just fold forward at your hip crease. Again, extend your arms back behind you, Balasana. Breathing here. Bring now your hands beside you, guide yourself back up, and now draw your left leg back behind you, coming into pigeon on the right side. Draw your right arm up, cradle again the back of your head, and if you would like, you can take your left hand and draw your fingers towards each other, coming into full cow face pose, arms. And keep the heart lifted. If you find that you're rolling over on your right side, just take a prop, slip it underneath your right hip. On your next breath, bring your left leg out in front of you, bring your right foot to the inside of your left thigh and fold forward. Think about drawing back at the hip crease, leading forward with the heart. Let the shoulders relax, and then on your next breath, take your arm back behind you, and then lift your hips, extending your arm back, reaching with your fingers, and then allowing your buttocks to come back towards the mat. Draw your knee in towards your chest. Now take your right leg and cross it over. Coming into a twist, wrap your left elbow around your leg and then lift up still through the crown of your head. Draw your right shoulder back, come back to center. And crossing now your leg over and folding. Now bring yourself back up, and as you bring yourself up, coming into full cow face pose. Again, with your right elbow drawn up towards the ceiling, see about bringing your left fingers towards your right. And if it doesn't feel comfortable for you with your knees to be in this position, just come into a cross-legged and then release. And then from here, it's going to be your right ankle and coming below your left knee. Coming into now, fire log pose. Start to extend your arms out in front of you. Maybe consider bringing your hands towards each other. Coming into prayer, reverse prayer. Allowing the thumbs come to the nape of the neck and breathing here. Now draw your arms out in front of you and guide yourself back up. Now taking your right leg back behind you and coming into your pigeon on this side. So now extend your left arm up, bring your left elbow up towards the ceiling, bringing your fingers towards each other or to meet. Keep the heart lifted. Extend up through the sternum. And then use your next breath to release. Guide now your right leg out in front of you and folding forward. Breathing here. Allow yourself to hear the sound of your breath. And then guide yourself up, now bringing your right foot towards the floor, lifting your heart, lifting your hips up and then extending back. And then release, draw again, your hips back down, your bottom towards the mat, bringing now your left knee in towards your chest. Cross over, coming into your twist on this side, lift up through the crown of your head, draw now your left shoulder back. See about twisting just a little deeper and then come back to center and then guiding again yourself into a forward fold, having your left knee stacked over your right. Guide yourself back up, and then once you do so, now bringing your heel behind you if that feels comfortable, and then coming into full cow face pose. Keep the elbow again lifted up, drawn up towards the ceiling, your right elbow drawn down towards the floor. And then release. Now once you release, taking now your left ankle below your right knee, guiding your right foot towards the left side of your mat and coming into your fire log on this side. Again, fold forward at the hip crease, draw your arms forward, or if you did so on the other side, again coming into reverse prayer. Exhale, bringing now yourself back up on the inhale. And bring your feet down. You're going to come up into reverse tabletop. So again, lift the heart up towards the ceiling. Keep pressing into the heels of your hands. Engage your quads. And then exhale, coming down. And once you come down onto your back. And bring your knees in towards your chest and hug in tight. Now release your legs out. Come into Shavasana. Now when you're ready, begin to bring your feet onto the mat. Draw yourself over onto your right side, and then ever so gently press yourself up to your seated position, returning back to Hero's Pose. And bringing your hands together at your heart center, and bowing your head to your heart, honoring yourself, honoring your practice. And then take a deep inhale through your nose, a long exhale out your mouth. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste.